wasn't
Yeah,
arguing
that's
with you.
Erech. But again, sitting and doing nothing, so you're also keeping Shulchan Aruch. You're not doing any Yisurim,
Well,
right?
you might lead to that. You're putting yourself. The Mishnah says it's lidei shuma. It's being mavatal by just stam for no reason is the Mishnah it says is very dangerous.
No, it is dangerous, but
It's like going down a bad path.
correct. Okay, let's start the daf. It's a yeah. But the point is that we can't rest on our laurels. That's the point. We gotta do avodah. Okay, Tzadi Beis Amar Aleph. He started recording. Yeah, Tzadi Beis Amar Aleph. So now we continue with the Mekach Tois things. So Amaycha Peres L'Chavera. So if somebody sells Paris to his friend, right? So he's selling the Paris, the Zaron, and he plants them. Meaning it's unclear what are you buying the fruit for. You're buying the fruit to eat, or you're buying the fruit to plant. So Amaycha Peres L'Chavera, the Zaron, and he planted them, the Loit Samchu, and they didn't grow. So he wants a refund. Afilu Zera Pishtan, and even if he planted flax, and he's not chayav in the achrayas. Right? Because he says, what do you mean? I sold you fruit, and I thought you're going to eat it. You decide you wanted to plant it, what does that have to do with me? Right? The shaila is why by flax, though. Flax, it seems like you buy it in order to plant it. Right? Because you still, meaning by flax, and we're going to get into this in back and forth for the next couple of blocks. Do you go basarov? Do you not go basarov? Right? Meaning, do we say that we go? What is the majority? What do the majority of people use these fruits for? What do they use flax for? So the mission is going that we don't go with the rov. Meaning, so he has to prove what he wanted with those, with the flax. And the guy could say, I don't know. I thought you wanted it to eat. So Mamela, it's not his problem, right? That's the first. That's the first din. Rav Shimon Gamliel Omer Zeroni Gina She'ein Nechalin. If you have seeds which can't be eaten, so then Chayiv Achriyus, and then the seller is Chayiv in the Achrayus. Meaning, if they're not meant to be eaten, so then he is supposed to sell him seeds.
Why are we assuming that? How am I supposed to know if these things will grow or not?
Well, that's when you're doing business, so you're supposed to sell quality seeds.
Maybe they're just not. You have to know ahead of time that they're going to grow. That's not something you can know.
Tosfos asked the question that we had the Gemara Bava Metzia, where the guy is in agreement with the sharecropper in the field, and the owner can say,
you didn't do it
if he loses out, that you didn't plant it in the right time, you didn't plant it properly. So over here also, why can't he have that time?
Correct.
Yeah,
how you have to prove meaning the buyer has to prove that he did everything right. You have to prove that he did everything correctly.
Yeah, there gives a few answers are that you checked out the seeds and the seeds were no good.
They seemed right.
Yeah, or the moicher is maskim that he planted it properly. Just he said that he sold it for achila. Whatever. They're otherwise it's and
then it also gets into Makas Medina, Taisus Teretz.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, it seems like anytime the moicher has one of these kindness, then it would be a mitzvah varaya from the buyer.
Right. Anyways, this is all part of the sugis that we're gonna try and get clear, right? But anyway, so the Mishnah is saying that if you sold somebody fruit and it didn't end up growing, and the guy wants a refund, you're not mechuyev to give him back a refund because you could say, I didn't know you wanted them for seeds. I thought you wanted them for fruit. That's the first sheet of Shimon Gamliel, and then that includes even flax, which normally does get planted for seeds. Rav Shimon Gamliel says that seeds from the garden is chayav b'achriyusan. Then that you're chayav, right? Because they're not normally eaten, so it's expected that you have a proper seeds that work. Yeah. Okay, so Zog the Gemara, Itma. So let's say a guy sells a shor to his friend, and the shor ends up being a little ADHD, right? Meaning it's not controllable. It's running around and goring areas. The guy can't do anything with it. Meaning the point is did the guy buy the shor to shecht it? In which case we don't care if it's a nakhan because he's going to kill it the next day or even that day. Or do we say no, he's using it to plow? So if right, the buyer says, I know I wanted it to plow, so now you got to give me back my money because now I can't plow. Or do we say the seller says, no, I bought it to you to I sold it to you to shecht. Right, so that's the machlokes between them. So Rav Amar is a mekach tois. Rav says it's a mekach tois. He's got to give back the money. Shmuel Amar Yochel Lomer le'l'shchita mechatev lach. Shmuel says no. The seller could say I sold it to you for shchita. Yeah. Okay. So Gemara asks v'lechsi igavra dezavin l'nichsisa. Why don't we see if he's the type of guy? Well, I mean, let's check his business, right? Let's see if he buys it for shchita. Then l'nichsisa. Then we say, okay, you bought it for shchita, and you have no taina. And ilaradia.
He has a butcher shop and a ranch, both.
Right. So that's really the Gemara's teretz. The shalos, what's the Gemara's havamina? Everybody is saying, well, because a guy has he likes meat, it doesn't mean he doesn't need a plow, right? Or a guy that plows doesn't mean he doesn't need to eat, right? Okay, but that's what Gemara says. So why don't we?
Didn't this come right after the Gemara that spoke about black cows being better for meat and white cows being better for plowing? I think that was the Havamina we said over there, no?
But this is a spotted cow, Gershon.
Yeah, so either way, it's not the best for meat. He could be buying it for meat, but it's probably not. I think that's the time. Look at the whole thing. Most people farms are not geared towards both beef and agriculture.
He has a butcher store in town, and he has a farm. He has both. He diversified.
That's what the Gemara's answer is.
He diversified early.
True. That's what the Gemara's answer is, but it's not a normal situation. Okay. You find somewhere like that in the States, a huge country. There's a lot of cattle. There's come out no such thing as someone who does both beef and what's it called, and agriculture. It's usually cows that you use for agriculture and bulls that are used for beef, steer.
But see, Yaakov, how would that help with if Shmuel holds a Moshe Mechaber Varaya? How would it help if you have a chazaka people are buy it for this or for that? It's still a Moshe Mechaber Varaya. Chazaka is not a raya.
What do you mean? It's right. So that meaning
if you say, well, I'm the type of person that buys the Laradia, prove it. Chazaka shouldn't be enough to be mighty the moment from the Meicher.
Correct. So that's what we're going to get into now.
Meaning, what's the kasha in Shmuel? It's not any better. Why is Chazaka any better than right? To be mighty.
Why
would a Chazaka be any better than the Rav that Shmuel already says it's a mitzvah mechaver of Raya?
That's a kasha. I forgot who asked that kasha.
Also, it says v'nimsa nagkan, meaning if it was already a nagkan, right, then it would have to be shechted, right? Because the only way for a cow to be nagkan has to have a chazaka, and then that it gored people. No, like he sold it already? It was a nagkan, then don't you have to kill those animals if it's already a nagkan?
If they kill,
he did. You mean, so why is it still alive? You said
no. Well,
it's a nagkan. You sold it was already a nagkan.
Only if it kills people. If it kills cows, there's no fear to kill it.
Yeah, but isn't the title nagkan like the term of art? Like it means that it gored people that
no, it's just synonymous. No? It's synonymous with muad. It doesn't really mean anything. It just means it's a gory cow.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought to get the title it had to kill people.
That's a good question. It's a good. You got to work harder for that title. No, you don't have to work so hard for that title.
I have a worse title. It's lawyer over this one.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the Gemara's kasha. Why don't we see it going again for third line down the Gemara? V'lefsi I gavra dezaven l'nechsasa l'raja. Meaning if he just check what he normally does. So the Gemara answers, but gavra dezaven lachi lachi. It's talking about a guy who sells for both of them. Okay. The lechsi the mei hechi ninu. Why don't we see how much it is? L'chayra, there's different prices. For a cow that's going to be shechted is a different price than a cow that's going to be used for plowing. So see how much it is. So we say Basra become the meirajim. No, meat prices went up, and now it's the same price as a plowing. What do you call it, a plowing cow? Okay, ihachi l'may nafkamina. So if that's the case, and they're the same price, so what are they fighting about? Right? Yeah. So the Gemara says, "Nafkamina l'tircha." It's the difference is to tircha. Meaning, who's got to deal with this getting rid of this shor, this ox, if it's a nakhan, right? So, meaning, if you go with Rav, who says that it's bottle, so then okay, just take back the money and finish. And if you go with Shmuel, who says it's a good mechira, so now the guy who bought it has to go. If he wants to get his money back, he's got to go make a tircha and sell it, and he has to sell it specifically to somebody who wants a cow that's it's gonna be hard for him to recover his money. Bottom line is because it's a cow, unless he sells it to somebody for meat, right? Okay, so that's what's saying now that the nafkamina is for the tircha. So the Gemara says, "Hey, chidami, what's the case?" On Tamabeis, either lekalish talumi mine if there's no money, right? Meaning if you hold that like Shmuel that he's like Rav that the money goes back. So if the guy has no money, so then I'm sorry. If you hold like Shmuel that the money goes back, so now if the seller spent the cash that he sold this cow for, what are you going to do? You're going to take the cow and deal with it, right? So that's what the Gemara said. La'akav tura bezuze. Let I'm sorry, no, I said it going to Shmuel going to Rav, right? La'akav tura bezuzi. Let him hold on to the shor for the money, meaning he's not going to see the money. So he's not going to see the money. So then let him let him at least hold on to the shor. Why? Damri inchi in Mari Rashvase from somebody who owes you money, right? Pari afara collect even junk, even bran. Get bran from him even, right? Because you take what you can get. So why wouldn't the guy just do that? So Gemara says, then again, I don't understand the Havamina like Tzricha de Ikalish to Lumimina. No, he has the money. Right? The seller has the money to give it. Right? So since he has the money to give it, so the shaila is who's got to deal with this headache. So that's the machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Now the Gemara explains what's the machlokes Rav and Shmuel. Rav Amar harei mekach tois. Rav says it's a mekach tois. Basaruba azlina, we go basarov. Beruba l'raj zavni, and most go to plowing. B'Shmuel Amar Loch, Yazina Basaruba. Why do we go Basaroi be Isura? We only go Basaroi by Isurim. B'Mamaina loy. Now there's a lot of tumult with this type of thing. What's a pshat? Right? We only go Basaroi by Isur, meaning if you have the classic case, if you don't know where you got the meat from, so you go with the roiv of the stores. Right? But by Isurim, by Mammon, we don't go Basaroi. Right? There's no, so that's the machlokes.
But Yaakov, does Rav not hold of a Meitzah Mechaber when it comes to Rav? Is that what we're saying? I mean, be sorry, the idea of a Meitzah Mechaber does apply across shots. Rav agrees to that, correct? And he just doesn't agree. He would hold that we throw out the idea of Meitzah Mechaber when it comes to Rav.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it works out.
Or it just doesn't apply, meaning it's not even how the idea of Meitzah Mechaber when you already have Rav coming in place of that.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. Okay, but the point is here that Rav says it's Mekach Tois, right? Because you go Basar Roiv, and you go Basar Roiv by everything. You go Basar Roiv by Yisurim, you go Basar Roiv by Mammon. And Shmuel says, no, you go Basar Roiv only by regular Isser Veheter. By finances, you don't go Basar Roiv. Fine. Simin, Isha, Ve'evet, Shar, Shairin, Uperis. Because now the Gemara is gonna, there's five proofs. Now that the Gemara is gonna go back and forth against Rav and Shmuel. Right, again, Rav holds we go Basar Roiv by Mammon. Shmuel holds we don't go Basar Roiv by Mammon. Right, so because you go Basar Roiv, so Mela, Roiv, you have to say, according to him, that you go Roiv, whatever the majority of people do with the item that was sold, that's who wins the fight. So if the majority of fruits get sold to be planted, then they have to produce. If the majority of animals get sold to be shechted, so then the guy has no taina because who cares that it's a shornag. Fine. So Gemara brings up a couple of things that from Bava Kama. So Meisvei, or from Ksuba. So Isha in this Amala and his Gaharsha, you have a woman who's getting divorced or is becoming an almana. V'hi meres, and she says Basula Nesasi. She says, I'm sorry, that I got married as a basula, and therefore I get 200 zuz. For who amar loiki al almana Nesasi. And he says, no, I married an almana. So imye, meaning, and I only have to give her 100. So now what? We got them fighting over how they got married. So imye sheidim sheyatza behinuma. If we have edim that she went out with hinuma, hinuma means a veil, which is what normally basulas go out with. V'roisha perua, or that her hair was loose, meaning that's what a basula does because she's not covering her hair.
Where's the ksuba here?
We're trying to figure out what he has to pay.
Doesn't the ksuba say in it psultada or whatever?
Oh, you mean where is the ksuba?
It could be ba'asr that they don't write a ksuba. We said there's a shaila if you write a ksuba or not. Some cities didn't write ksubas.
What do you mean? How does he live in it?
Is before or in the we said in Yehud, there was some place that they weren't makabel this thing.
Right.
To sing a Datz Yachid?
No, it's not
Maybe they lost
that.
it.
Back in
They
the
lost
day, it
it.
wasn't
The
required.
Gemara's talking about Yehuda, so that's all.
Taisa says it's talking
Right.
about a case with no ksuba, so either the minig was not to write it or they
Or
lost it.
Yehuda, right? Yehuda didn't write. Well, Yehuda they were choshesh
No,
with
if they
beulas.
did, if it's in a place they normally write it and you don't have the ksuba, then that would be a problem.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're getting divorced. Because they lost the ksuba. They decided to give up on each other.
No, but then it would be a problem. Then you can't if you can't prove it, then it's on you. You can't be teveh something. You can't if you can't prove it.
That's what this writer said. This is the raya. Yesh eder sheyotze behinuma. That's the raya that she's a basula.
Right. Okay. Anyways, but I mean, either way, the ksuba is not here. But otherwise, the parrot is 100% right. To find the ksuba and then see what it says. So again, we have
Yaakov,
edim. Yeah.
I found this week. I knew I had it. I was cleaning up. I have a National Geographic from 100 years ago, 1923. And there's a story about Yidden in Arab countries and the pictures of the Jewish ladies. They're wearing veils.
Is that so?
They have their face covered like
Irvan, that was
yeah.
from when you were a kid, that National Geographic?
Yeah, I got it. It only cost me 2 cents. Instead of buying baseball cards, I bought that National Geographic. Yeah.
Byron, he was saying you were 23 at the time.
I understand what he was saying, parents.
Irvan knows how to take a good joke. It's good.
My hearing is going, well, my brain's not.
Okay, Baruch Hashem.
Byron, that could be because they were in the country where all women wore veils.
Yeah, they were in the Arab countries. Yeah.
I thought you were bringing a riot to the ones that are wearing it now.
No, not to the ones you see in Meisharim. No, not that was no.
Anyway, so the point. Let's set it up here. The shaila, right? So, the machlokes is he says she's an almana or a grusha. She says she was a basula. we have Adam that said that it seems like she is a basula. Right? That's what that's what it seems. Right? So fine. So timer. So I'm sorry. And then the Brisa says if when there's Adam, she gets 200 because Lamaisi you have the Adam. Right? So timer the Ika Adam.
This is
So
a
the only
riot
reason
that women who are divorced or almanas still cover their hair.
what do you mean? Yeah, well, yeah,
Having
l'chayra.
her hair uncovered. I mean, so she got divorced. She got divorced, or she died, so she could still. How's it a riot that her hair wasn't covered?
Right. No, no, I know Hanami.
Parents, if
But
you look at the Rashbam, you could say even more that it's masha. Once you're nichnas al chuppah, you
So
can't
I
have your
only
hair.
do the daf.
I know. I'm just saying, if the Rashbam is masha. You cannot wear. You should not be Rosh Perua once you're nichnas al chuppah. Which is Tiago. How does that how does that work in modern day? Most collars do not cover their hair once after the nichnas al chuppah.
You know, Kiva,
Right.
ask it when it's Nagaya. It should be soon. But ask it when it's Nagaya.
I actually know
Right.
some Hasidic. I
Amazing.
think some Hasidim are makbid. Post the chuppah, they put on a shekel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yo, a lot of people.
Yeah.
The yeshiva belt
Chicago,
does
that's
it.
our minhag. We didn't do it. My kids didn't hold of it, but yes.
So about Sfardim,
I
we don't
think
do
that's our minhag.
we don't
Yeah,
do real
the-
yichud until after.
Right, the Shtarim don't do yichud
And
till later.
Hanami, but if you do
The
really
Iker
you're
din
already
is they
nichnas
have
al
to
chuppah.
cover. The Iker din is they have to cover, and there's a big thing out there. I don't know where it comes from, but that there's all that said even the girls that don't cover their hair have to have epis something on their hair, and they want to use this Gemara for that. They want to say it from this Gemara, right? Because you see, they went out with something on their hair. Either way, so that Gemara is saying, so time Adika Adam. The reason is because there's Adam. Aleka Adam loy. If there would be no Adam, she wouldn't get her ksuba. Right? The bottom line is go with the majority. Majority of weddings are with basulas. Right? So then why don't we just go with the Rive? So Elamai, it's a kasha on Rav, who says we do go with Rive by Mammon. Ravina, Mishum Dikulamema, Rive Nashim Basulas Nisis. No, you could say that there's Rive Basulas most women who get married are Basulas, Umiyad Almanas, and only a few women are Almanas. V'chol Nisis Basula Yesh Lakol. But anybody who marries a Basula, there's rumors, meaning people, it's known. Right? The Rashbam says is much more simcha. It's much more. It's usually Zivik Shani's weddings are much quieter, right? So it has a call. Vizu, in this case, oil ve'ein lo call. Since it was no call, meaning why wasn't it? Why could somebody should have stepped forward and said, we were at this wedding. Everybody knows that Yankel married Yankala. No, that's no good. Yankel married Prince. And somebody should step forward. So they didn't step forward. So then that's a reyesa. So Israel Aruba. Therefore, the Rive gets knocked down. All right. Okay. So Gemara asks again. So now we're saying that the Rive is ruined because there should be a call. So then Gemara asks, "E call on this is pasulas yeshlan call." But if anybody who marries a pasula has a call, ki'ika Adam my habi. So then what does Adam help? With the less la call, if there's no call, sadi shakrinenu. These guys have to be liars. Meaning, if everything is so bad that there's going to be a call, so then these guys, these Adam are liars.
Why is it not Aegis Bachasha at best?
I can't believe.
Yeah, I don't know, Akiva. I'm not sure why call has the most gets such power.
Or the way Rashi explains it is basically you'd explain that the veil was kind of just the Rashbam saying like the veil was just something else, like you touch up the veil is different. It seemed like walking out with the veil is such a stark araya, no?
Right.
How can you touch it up any differently?
I don't know.
I would say the Edom are testifying about the kohl, right? They're not testifying betula, they're just testifying about the veil. So a veil is a type of kohl. So if you have two kohls against each other, then you could have a call override the Eidim.
Oh, so very good. That's the go. Very good, Michael. Even with all you walking around, not night number 33. Yeah, your brain is still going. Very
He's
good. You
getting
got the
sharper by
teretz.
the
We're
night.
getting there. We're getting there.
He's
Yeah,
getting sharper by the night.
It's lag baimer. Yeah, so
Right.
okay, well anyways, you got so you're saying the Gemara's teretz, it's offsetting calls. I know it's football season, that's what I was thinking. It's offsetting calls, if anybody understands that one. Rabban, what do you want to say?
I'm just going to say that before I went on the daf, there was on the Five Town Central. They had a chasana from Haifa because Yimach Shemam bombing, so they had to move it to make a smaller chasana tonight and move it from the original venue. So they walked to the new venue, so there was a way smaller crowd. But maybe you want to say that it's a bigger crowd because it's on the internet, but it was a way smaller crowd. There wasn't such a coil.
Wasn't such
they
a
had
call.
to move it. They had to move it. There was little amount of people.
I hear, but you're right. But ultimately, there probably would be a bigger call.
Yeah,
very good. Very good. So that's the kasha. So the site, how can you trust these Eidim? Which Akiva's kasha, I don't understand. What do you mean? The bottom line is Eidim are there, and they said, right? Maybe everybody had amnesia. Maybe it was something in the food that everybody forgot. You have two solid Eidim here, and then we're saying, because there's no rumor, these Eidim must be liars. I don't know how that works exactly, but anyways, Ella, if I don't get moving, my new great niece, I'm not going to see whether she's Behinuma or not. So I better get, which I hope not to see. But anyways, Ella.
Yeah, I hope you never need to make such aids.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. I told you by my daughter's chasana, Rav Harfanis, I told Rav Harfanis that I want to be mechabed you. He says, not Eid Kedushin, because Rameir Stern is beside the Kedushin, and I know he makes the Eidim look at the Kala to prove that it's her. He said, and I'm not looking at the Kala, so I am not Eid Kedushin. There you go. So anyways, so Ella, so what's the teretz? Ella, Roiv Hanissus Pesulas Yeshlan Kol. We're going to say that most, not every, most people, most Pesulas that get married have a kol. The zoo and this one, Hoil ve'ein la kol, since she has no kol, Isra la ruba, then the roiv is messed up. Right? Meaning, so the Tana really could hold that we would go with roiv. But the Maisa, the roiv is not working. Meaning, there's a roiv that tells you that she should have been a basula. But there's also a roiv that a basula is well known to people, and that you don't have. So Mamela, the roivs are messed up. So since they're messed up, they offset each other, and then we're left with Eidim. Mamela, there's no kasha on Rav. Okay, we'll stop over there. Tomorrow should be regular time, Be'erich 8:15. There's the Shem.
I have a question.
Yeah.
My wife wants to know, she didn't make challah, but she forgot.